Hey everyone, I just wanted to show you a really simple trick in Nuke for how to remove flickering from footage. This is some footage I shot with my camera, and I was sad to see when I pulled it into Nuke that there was actually a lot of changes in the lighting exposure, probably due to a setting I had on my camera. But I really didn't want to go back and reshoot this footage, so I wanted to find a way to fix these strange lighting fixes in Nuke. Because I shot this footage for my course where I wanted you guys to be able to split screen the train coming into a second plate, but it would really be a hassle if you had to deal with all these lighting changes as well. It became really apparent when I made a test where I held one of my frames just so I could compare and see how bad the lighting changes really were. And you could see that as the shot goes on, especially when the train comes in. We were getting brightness, darkness, a lot of brightness when the train comes in, and I really didn't want my students to have to deal with that in the course. So I went Googling because I tried a few things first. I tried my usual trick of average intensities. This is a curve tool that you can use to select an area and it will pick up the intensity color data, but I found it wasn't really working well enough for this shot. So I went Googling and I found a trick where you could use the merge node to get that flickering data and cancel it out. I'll show you how. So basically, you use, under the merge tool, you see there's all these operations that if you use Nuke, you might not even use these all or even know what they do. If you don't know what exactly they do, I'd encourage you to watch my course where I kind of explain that all of this is math. And when you think about how there's math involved, the name divide on this operation makes a lot of sense. So here we're dividing the B input, which is my plate, with the saturation removed because I didn't want to adjust the color values, I just wanted to adjust the brightness values. I blurred this out by 2000 pixels. This way, it's kind of picking up on that brightness changes. You can see when my train comes in, there's that brightness data that was picking up. So in this way, I can kind of get an overall brightness changes that's happening on the plate. And then I'm comparing that with my first frame. So this is basically the default brightness, and then this would be the brightness changes as the shot plays through. And I'm just putting the B input into the blur and the A input into the frame hold of that blur. And that way it's dividing those values. So it's kind of giving me that information that I can then use to, what's the opposite of divide? That would be multiply. I'm multiplying that data back on top of my plate. So here's my plate, that's the input for my B. This one, it wouldn't matter if you swap the A or B inputs because it's a multiplication, and when you have a multiplication involved, it doesn't matter which value comes first, it will get you the same result. So I could swap these inputs and it would be the same result. Here I'm just pressing Shift X, which is a quick shortcut for swapping up the inputs on a merge node. So now when my train comes in, let's compare that with our plate. Here it was getting a lot of brightness, especially in the sky as the train came in. This is about the level it should be, and this is the level of brightness it was getting to. So when I add that on top, it's reducing my brightness data. It's not perfect, but it's certainly a lot better than it was before. Let's plug that into my test. Now when I go over here and I skim through, now those brightness data are a lot more consistent. I don't think I'm using the plate as I go down here, so I didn't adjust that. Because you'll find that this got me about 90% of the way through, but I did actually add another multiply. And in this multiply, I added animation. You can tell that I added animation to this multiply by the A symbol in the corner. And we can check out all the animation I did by going to Nuke's curve editor. The curve editor displays all the keyframe animation you've done on a node, and you can press F to fit it all into screen. So you can see I made some changes because there was a lot of flickering going in, and I just wanted to make it really perfect. And I ramped up the multiplication as it went through. So basically with my first multiply, I found it was good. It got me my darker values there, but when it really got better is when I did that merge operation again. Again, I just took the plate and put it into my B input, and I basically double multiplied this data on top. So not only did I multiply it once, I multiplied it twice just because I found I really needed to get that effect going again, basically doubling up the effect. If you want more Nuke tips from me, don't forget to hit subscribe to get more 5-minute Nuke tips in the future, and also check out my full Udemy course in the link below. It'll teach you all about channels, the math behind the merge node, and everything you wanted to know about how to get great looking roto.